This is the second part of our Israel trip, starting at December 3rd, before we went home on December 7th. Our second part of the Israel trip mainly spent in Jerusalem, the old city, city of David.
Not to worry, you have lots of options, alright, and choices to take nice pictures.
Following Kermit. Top of the Mount of Olives. I guess there's some kind of crow. A little bit about the Dome Rock or something. We're on top of the Mount of Olives. And we're going to head down to the Garden of Gethsemane.
Psalms 125, as the mountains round about Jerusalem, this is a very accurate description of Jerusalem until recently, so to speak. But the new city today is covering a huge area, 30,000 acres. This valley is owned by two names. It's called the Kidron Brook, which means a dark place, also known the Valley of Jehoshaphat. God will judge in Hebrew. Place of judgment for the nations according to the book of Joel, chapter 3.
Garden of Gethsemane.
Guys in Nigeria, and they were jumping up trying to cut off. Get off that thing! What do you think you people are? What do you? Can I take it from the holy thing? I don't think where people are coming from.
This could very well be the site of Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus prayed before he was taken by the Roman soldiers.
Where?
Might be that one. Might be the grandchildren of
All the other trees.
in Jesus' time.
And this is olive trees.
Olive.
East gate of the city, old city of Jerusalem. We see a bridge here going across.
It's not the gate of the days of Jesus. The one is buried under the one that you see in front of you.
This church is built in 1924, top of the place where they believe that Judas Iscariot gave a kiss to Jesus to betray him to the Pharisees and the priests.
I won't go into much of a commentary on it, but he got the idea that he suffered for us. And I think that that's the thing that needs to be kind of...
Where they lit up the side of the walls. There's the double east entrance to the dome. This is the Marmella Mall, not too far from where the U.S. Embassy is, but it's all decked out and a bunch of different stuff around here.
Driving under a cable, can you all see the cable we drive under? If you go to the right hand side, it goes to a window in the building, and there's a little card hanging on that cable. In 1967, Mount Zion that we are climbing on now was in Israeli hands, but very close to the Jordanian territory, and therefore was tight rope walker from Belgium, Philippe Petit, was walking the cable from side to side without a safety net. He's still alive, so I guess he made it safe to the other side. Getting off in a minute, outside the walls of Jerusalem. We'll go to see Zion Gate first, and then we'll go to see the upper room, which is in the same neighborhood. So make your preparations to get off. You will be back on the bus, boarding at the same location in about 3 to 3.5 hours.
And then King David's tomb symbolized.
Upper room.
Details of the Last Supper because they're not stated overtly, but it's something that you can kind of piece together as you read the text. And that's the fact that the way the Passover meal is celebrated.
All right, folks, come with me. Make yourselves comfortable. Don't take me a while to cover what I would like to cover. Long, boring lecture. Long, boring lecture. So they walked another quarter of a mile. They took maybe another break. Thank you.
Here, the center is where the Holy of Holies would be. And this is 1st century BC. Overcast.
We are looking at the city now from above the Valley of Gad. There was a question a minute ago regarding the sign curtains. This is the gate to the 16th century wall. The 16th century wall is what we see. Alright, this is as good as it gets when we speak about Jerusalem, not from the days of Jesus, but about 30 years later. And I will show you in a few minutes what was added after the crucifixion, the resurrection, and I would ask you to ignore that, although it's not. You see the barrel to your right. Bring that above our heads. We are cutting through the mountain, and it lands on the left-hand side behind the building to our left. That will be Mount Calvary. So we're driving literally through the bedrock of Mount Moriah. That was one of the first quarries in Jerusalem. I know it's hard to relate to that, but look now to the bedrock on the right. Bring it above our heads, make a little dome, it lands on the left-hand side. This is the Garden Tomb. That's where we are going to visit and celebrate communion in a few days. So we're driving through a place that used to be a quarry and then part of the moat of Jerusalem. There's an entrance to a cave.
The western wall. See the Arabs covered it up.
The Temple Mount is identified in both Jewish and Islamic tradition as the area of Mount Moriah where Abraham offered up his son in sacrifice. This is written in both Genesis and the Quran. The Temple Mount on Mount Moriah is important to both Jews and Muslims. The Temple Mount is important to both Jews and Muslims in that the site is where Abraham is to have offered his son in sacrifice, and also this is the place where Muhammad, accompanied by the angel Gabriel, ascended into heaven.
And the people are praying down there.
No, we will. Yeah. Got enough points and everything.
Passageway that we all had to come down to the western wall.
Here, King Solomon built the first temple almost 3,000 years ago. It was destroyed by the Babylonians in 586 BC, but 70 years later, Jews returning from exile built the second temple on this site. King Herod the Great fashioned it into an edifice of great splendor. Following the destruction of Jerusalem by the Romans in year 70, the area of the Temple Mount was deliberately left in ruins, first by the Romans and then by the Byzantines. This desecration was not readdressed until the Muslim conquest of the city by the Caliph. He ordered the clearing of the site and the building of the house of prayer. Some 50 years later, another caliph built the dome on a rock to enshrine the outcrop of bedrock believed to be the place of the sacrifice of Mount Moriah. This altar stone does not actually line up with what is written in the Bible about the East Gate and the Mount of Olives. So there is some discrepancy here that only later, the only thing for sure is there's a hole in the rock mentioned in the Bible for the sacrificial altar. The Caliph's son also built in 1033 the large mosque on the southern end of the mountain there, where it was known for a Quranic title attributed to the entire area. After the conquest of Jerusalem by the Crusaders, the Dome of Rock was converted into a church. They are reconverted into Muslim houses of worship after Saladin's conquest of Jerusalem in 1187, and it has remained so ever since. During the 1948 Israel War of Independence, Jordan retained control over Jerusalem's old city and the Temple Mount, and subsequently refused entry into the area of any Jewish person. During the 1967 Six-Day War, the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, recaptured Jerusalem and liberated the Temple Mount, reclaiming Jewish control of the area for the first time since the destruction of the Second Temple. Though Israel could have taken control of them, the Islamic holy places were put in the care of Muslim council, and the Jews were barred from praying on the Mount in the hope of minimizing bloodshed and preventing a holy war. Yeah, right.
Southside Temple. Here's the east side.
Mount of Olives.
This is the ritual cleansing bath. Had to flow naturally into a pool.
Mount of Olives. Past these pine trees.
I started the Roman peace because war was expensive, and it also interfered with collection of taxes and with a trade and tax.
Hezekiah's Tunnel is a water channel that was carved beneath the city of David in Jerusalem during the reign of Hezekiah of Judah, late 8th and early 7th century BC. The waterworks mentioned in 2 Kings 20:20. King Hezekiah prepared Jerusalem for an impending siege by the Assyrians by blocking the source of the waters of the upper Gihon spring and leading them straight down to the west to the city of David, 2 Chronicle 32, to the pool of Siloam. The Gihon spring, although protected by a massive tower, this tunnel was to divert all the water secretly to the pool with the specific purpose of withholding water from any besieging forces. The curving tunnel is 533 meters long, with an altitude gradient of less than 1%. The engineers managed to convey the water from the spring to the pool. According to the Siloam inscription, the tunnel was excavated by two teams, one starting at each end of the tunnel and then meeting in the middle. Several directional errors were made during this construction, but on the day of the beginning of the siege, both sides met and actually extending each other's arms through the adjoining hole. To this day, how the Israelite engineers dealt with the difficult feat of making two teams digging from the opposite ends meet far underground is still not fully understood, but some suggest that the two teams were directed from above by sound signals generated by hammering on the solid rock through which the tunnels were digging.
World system, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Or the water system of Jerusalem, so that the city.
Somebody start, Helga, please start walking this way. Helga, start walking this way, please. Just Helga. Oh my goodness. Keep walking, please. Keep walking. Stop, please, and touch the wall. Touch the wall. Touch the wall. Touch the wall. Between
This is the
Helga.
Antonio Palace coming up.
All right. Between Helga and Ken. Thank you. Come and join us, darling.
I thought you wanted to lose me.
Come Never did something like that.
did real good. What wall is this?
Right, one stone. This is the second largest stone in the world.
End of the
Weighs
western
about
wall is over here.
500 tons.
Western wall. You can see on the side. These huge stones were just placed so perfect section of Antonio's. Really Travis, no water or anything
As
used.
close as you.
The western wall goes all the way down, excavated down to the street level.
You start here, you go further this way, but it's a short walk, right? About a 5 minutes, not more than that. And then there's a room large enough to come over the wall.
This is Warren's shack. Well, it looks like there's daylight below it.
Yeah, there's a little boy down there that collects cell phones people are out. Sells them back to you.
Just your badge that's displayed that way, or is that the way you...
Church of the Holy Sepulchre. This was the mosque of Omar. He made a deal with the Catholics to keep the church from being destroyed. This area over here is supposed to be where the tomb is. Christ's tomb. This is all due to Constantine's mother. This is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Outside of the Antonio Fortress, this is actually some Roman ruins. Fantastic, the acoustics.
This could be the very
The city is built on top of all the Roman ruins.
high priest kind of where Jesus from here after he was arrested. Yeah.
Prior to 70 AD, before Rome returned the temple.
This could be the when he over there is the outer court.
Top men, he had everything to lose. The way the Lord Jesus died meant he threw away the secrecy, went to Pilate and said, "Give me the honor of putting that man in my own tomb." Okay, execution site. The Bible says Jesus was killed outside the city walls. In this bit, the city walls are the same area, just same place. We're 200 meters from, America. 200 yards past this gate. That was the Roman gate as well. So this is like Route 95 somewhere. Big motorway. So somewhere down this area, we say it's very noisy. So people get upset, they say it's noisy, it's dirty, it's not respectful. but hey, that's what.
as a warning to
That's
others.
an execution.
Shepherd and his flock of goats.
Shepherd's feet.
Going up to the tree.
Yeah, I did get it.
The shepherd's on the olive tree over there.
Okay. If it's any good.
Drive by the ends if you want to take a picture in front of us. Drive by. Yeah, you see the seal over there on the right hand side. There was a plaque under it that speaks about President Donald J. Trump recognizing the Jerusalem as capital. This is it.
All waiting at the Jaffa Gate for our last bus ride back to the hotel, and then the next morning to the airport. We're sitting around
Back there where
waiting for
there was no
our bus to come and take us back to the hotel.
washing machine,
for
dryers were
our-
gone.
And it's raining out. How could that be?
And the sun came out.
Everything, she spent everything.
Good.
Foreclosure.
It's raining in the sun.
You know, and they're
What's this, Bean?
Look at she can shuffle.
Look at all the spices. I wish we can capture the aroma on these things here. We can't.
Everything here is made of stone.
Yeah. I've got one of those in my